Welcome to another episode of the Metal Roundup. We're back once again. We've had a little bit of a time off in this summertime, as it were, but we have an exciting special guest today in the form of Johnny from The Breakdown, minus Nath, but nonetheless. Look at that. Hey, baby, I'm so cool. Welcome.
There he is.
How are you, sir?
Welcome, sir.
What time is it where you are right now? Because this is a very international moment we're having here.
It is. It's across multiple ditches. I'm good, thanks, man. It's 6:30 a.m. And my face doesn't look like this because of the time. That's just my face. So I'm actually used to being up this early.
You look beautiful, sir. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, you're starting your day. I'm
shameless
just
plug of the merch there.
Let's go.
This is sweet merch.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, we're all on different wavelengths here. He's on the coffee, Burb. What are you on?
Burb.
Like I was saying there, what just
That was a
happened?
direct question.
Sorry, there's four people now. You're talking to me? I'm always
Yeah,
coffee
what
with
were
me.
Oh, okay. So me and Steve on the alcohol and the two boys on the coffee. Right.
In fairness, it's like 9:30 at night where we are. Burb is not that quite that late in the day.
I know,
yet,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So
What time is it where you are, Burb?
It is 4:30. And I remember last time we talked, because we talked on my podcast a long time ago. It was super early for you too then. So appreciate you. You already wake up early, but I appreciate you coming on so early for this.
Thank you. Dude, it's a pleasure. Obviously, Nathan and I are big fans of all of you guys and what you guys do. I think it's cool that we've got four dudes, even all in the reactor space, that even between us, we all approach it really differently. We all do things really differently. I think that's cool. Full disclosure, I would be fine to start my morning with alcohol, but I'm representing the channel, so...
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to two Irishmen, so yeah, we're fine. We understand each other.
it's all good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, you guys have a good point. I mean, it's something that comes up now and then. People's like, oh, the reaction channel space is so saturated. There's too many. But the whole point is everyone's got a different thread and a different point of view and a different interest in different things. So actually, there isn't a thing of, oh, I want to see what someone else thinks of the latest song from insert artist here. I've seen one of those now. I'm good. It's actually everyone's got a different response. And that's the thing what makes it interesting. I think you make a good point. And the ones I think that grow an audience and do well are the ones that are the most differentiated between each other. Otherwise, it would be why would you duplicate? So that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I think Johnny and I have a very common interest that I'm very excited to talk about.
We're going to railroad this whole thing.
Perhaps.
I know. I know, right?
Is this
Already.
the Thrice new release?
Oh, of course.
Right. I wasn't sure if Johnny was full in on that.
I didn't know
he is.
that he was. I watched. I think the title of your video is something huge Thrice fan checks out. Was it that? Because I think I've not checked it out yet because I hadn't heard the song yet. But so how deep does your fandom go with Thrice?
I'm not crazy or anything. I definitely don't have a full sleeve loosely based on the song Red Sky, and I definitely did not name my child Dustin. So.
come on, bring it here, man.
Burb. That's deeper than you, surely.
I know.
The delay on
A
this
little
call
delay,
is
a
crazy,
little bit
by
of
the
a
way.
delay, but that's
it's like
all
a
right.
fucking 5-second delay. We're gonna have to work with this.
Yeah.
You should be in the future. He should be ahead of us. Actually, that's how that works, isn't it?
Maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're on
I'm a
Australian
fan of-
internet, which sucks. So
Oh, okay.
Well, Drew's
I'm-
on Skylink, is it?
Starlink. I'm on
Starlink.
Starlink, so we're probably on the same level here, somewhat.
But yes, I mean, so let's start perhaps then with the man who's got the tattoo. What were your thoughts, Johnny, about Thrice? How much were you plugged into their recent releases of the past few years? Have they had a couple in the last few years? Or is this, because I'm not really that plugged in. I was on board with Artist in the Ambulance. Fucking love that record. I've played that so many goddamn times. And Vihaisu, I thought was amazing. And moments of the EPs. Okay, fine. But I've not really been that plugged in. Black Honey I think was pretty cool, but I'm not as consistently plugged in. So how excited were you for this particular song? What was your anticipation going into that?
I think that with Thrice, and I've said this as well to Nathan multiple times, they're a band that you kind of have to be on the journey for, because how they came out as this sort of punk, hardcore, metalcore crossover band, and they did it like no one else had done it. I think that when you're shown a song like, you know, Paper Tigers off Artist in the Ambulance, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, this band is a shreddy, rippy, hardcore crossover band. And they just went on a full journey. And that doesn't work for a lot of bands, but it worked for me.
We just lost Johnny.
Yeah, we just lost Johnny. He's not lying about Australian internet being pretty crap. But hopefully he'll be back. But
we'll pivot to you then, Burb, as the other super fan of Thrice. What was your anticipation of it going in, and how do you feel now, having heard it, I presume, a few times since?
So I'm going to assume that a lot of listeners have not listened to very much Thrice. I've always considered them, actually, Drew uses a good slogan, which is like, it's your favorite band's favorite band. Thrice has always been like a well-respected band, but they never got too much attention. They were like really popular in the early 2000s, like, you know, they were on MTV and stuff for the Artist in the Ambulance, but then they went completely 180 for Visu and did experimental rock. They worked with a pop producer and they totally changed gears, and ever since they started to get more rock and more weird with their music, and they kind of lost that old metalcore fan base. And but like Johnny was saying, if you've been following along with their journey, you kind of mature with their music, because like every album, like they're just phenomenal songwriters, and Dustin, the vocalist, is just such a powerhouse when it comes to like live performances. And like every Thrice song you hear, there's going to be like an acoustic rendition. Actually, the new song Nash, go to their Instagram, he does an acoustic version of that, and he's got this like Tom Waits kind of like vocal tone, and it's just so nice. Like another band that I really want to talk about is Vower, because they dropped a new song. But Thrice, like Vower and Thrice, there's a lot of similarities between the two bands. It's like post-hardcore, a little bit rock. It's got like big, wide open sounds, but then the vocalists are just powerhouses, but they got so much power in their vocals. But I thought the new Thrice song is for the fans who've been wanting heavy, but I don't really recommend it. Like Drew, I know Drew's not very well versed in Thrice music. I don't recommend the new song to Drew or newbies. If people want to get into the band Thrice, it's really hard to say, check out this album, because they're all different. I say just put it on shuffle on Spotify. And
shuffle is a bold move, because there is quite a variation over that discography. But I get your point. I just think if shuffle brings you the first album songs, you'd be like, I don't know that the production value will help people get in.
Probably Alchemy Index then. Put on the different EPs, because there's like the fire, water, earth, and air, which all have different sounds in the EP. That's a good starting point, I think, for people that are new to Thrice, because then you can out of those like 24 songs, you can find something that you might like and then go into that direction. But yeah, Johnny, you're back.
All right, we're hot spotting and we're good. We're going for it.
Okay, no worries.
Let's go.
But yeah,
We'll find a way through.
to continue on what you thought, like what I thought of the new song, I loved it. Like, that was obvious in the reaction, and I think it was because I'm not one of those guys that is like, oh, I wish they sounded like the old stuff, you know. But hearing them like reclaim a little bit of that fire, so to speak, and, you know, adding things like a double kick breakdown at the end, but all like, and finding that aggression in Dustin's voice, but finding their own way of doing it. Like it's like a modern move with, I reckon that going out on the Ambulance tour probably rekindled a little bit of that love for the heavies for them, because it was such a well-received album. And those shows were fucking incredible.
I'll bet. Yeah, I'm sorry that I've not been able to see those recently, but I did see them many, many years ago. They did a co-headliner, I think it was, with Coheed and Cambria, and both bands were great, but Thrice blew the fucking roof off with the size of their songs. Like, Paper Tigers, like, goddamn, that thing live is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the new song. I found it weird. It was really surprising, which is cool. They're still, but I guess as a big fan, it's not that surprising to you, but they innovate and they change and they develop their sound over time. And they're still clearly doing it, which is kind of impressive after such a long career. You're still finding ways to push boundaries, but not have it just be weird and shit. I thought it was really satisfying and yet kind of unusual. So it's definitely a song I think needs a few spins to kind of get your teeth into it, or to gnash into it properly.
Oh, Nash. Nice. You might like Horizons
nice.
East. Yeah, check out that album, Steve. You might like it. It's a little bit more experimental. Thrice is not really a heavy band anymore, except for the new Nash song. But they're just good songwriters.
Yeah, fair. Drew, have you checked it out or not as yet?
I haven't heard a single Thrice song in my life.
How?
Sorry.
What? Oh,
And every time you
goodness.
say, yeah, never. Every time you say Nash, I'm thinking of Nyash. You know the word for like
We've
someone's
lost our
arse?
guest. He's gone.
Yeah, like, so every time I hear that, I'm like, okay, they're saying this word. I need to reprogram my mind. Stop being filthy, Drew. But yeah, no, I haven't heard a single Thrice song. I was gonna ask what would be. I know Burb kind of suggested like maybe starting off with one of the were the EPs that you said, Burb? It was only like 24 songs across all.
For you, it's really hard to
me,
say
yeah.
where to start. I don't know if they're really a band for you, but actually that's not true. You know how people will like are so when it comes to like Sleep Token, they'll fight for Sleep Token. They'll fight for their favorite band.
Yeah.
Usually I'm like, Sleep Token, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But Thrice, I will always be like, oh, you don't like Thrice? Don't worry. Check out this song. Check out this song or something, because they're you're bound to find something that you like about this band. I don't know one person who doesn't like Thrice, actually. Like I'm talking about like my family, my friends, they all have. Okay, has he heard the entire discography?
Just the reset. Okay.
But dude, at this point, I think it's just him just sticking to his guns just to piss me off, and it works. It's like,
Oh, fun. I'm trying to think.
How did you describe the like subgenre category of the band? It was like post-hardcore punk. I was like,
they started off kind of metalcore. They were like very riffy and they were fast, and then they got more post-hardcore, very catchy, and then they went experimental rock, and that's kind of where they are at now. They still have the post-hardcore label, but if you've heard Vour, Drew, if you've listened to those songs, Thrice they're kind of like Vour. Like actually, Steve, I don't know if you know this, but Vour, Josh's old band, the vocalist of Vour, Palm Reader, actually has a really good cover of Thrice Circles, and Josh does a really good Dustin Kensrue. So Johnny, I don't know how much Vour you listen to, but that's definitely a band that you gotta check out. Oh bro, they kind of hit that Thrice itch for me.
Okay. Text it to me. I will definitely check it out. I'll definitely check
100%.
it out.
No, they're great, and they're very new. They've only really formed in the last year or two. They're pretty fresh, but they are already a very fully formed live act. That actually, like, we saw them at Download Festival. Sorry, Drew, and Burb got goosebumps checking them out live. Like that. That's the caliber of this new band. They're so interesting.
Yep.
Vour,
so good. Also, Ackle Kenny from Tesseract actually mixes some of their live recordings, I'm finding out. So there's a Tesseract influence there.
What sort of style are they?
Post-hardcore rock, like Thrice. It's kind of hard. They're like a heavy,
feel a bit
big
proggy
rock
as well, aren't they?
A little bit progressive too.
Yeah.
But more sitting in huge sounds. Like I'm thinking like a Fire Breather, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I would agree. Like a little Fire Breather-ish.
Yeah, they could do anything though. They could dip into any world. Their vocalist is so good that it's just they could touch on anything and it would sound sick. He's got so much soul.
That's definitely one of the things for Thrice is, you know, like regardless is you listen to Dustin's voice and you're like, God damn, man, how is that voice possible? How is that real?
Yeah, that's key. Some bands just have that gifted singer. You could hear them sing fucking anything. Like Dallas Green and Alexis on Fire. I could listen to that man sing any fucking thing he wants. It's just unbelievable.
That's another good comparison.
Thanks. There's another decent and exciting release from the boys in Silent Planet, which was fucking full tilt. I haven't heard it more than I think twice, but it was pretty exciting. Anything of interest to know on that one? Drew, what do you think of that one?
Yeah, good. It's obviously in the same vein as what they did on Super Bloom, obviously with Buster. I feel like I still have this hunch that Silent Planet don't really feel like a band that works massively well with Buster out of home. I feel like he's not really Silent Planet aren't really a Buster band. They have had 6 songs with him, of course. Like they're Silent Planet. They can make amazing music, but I just feel like their style of music doesn't really suit the Buster mix. Like when you look at a lot of the other bands that Buster works with, it just doesn't really feel like it allows the emotion in a lot of their music to fully breathe. Now, the energy and the aggression in the last song, it worked with Buster because they wanted to make like an artillery strike sound. Like you're not going to find someone better in the production world in modern metal than Buster for that kind of sound. But I just have this thing, I don't know, it's just the emotional impact that I had with a lot of their older stuff before Buster got involved. I just feel like it's there's like a more clarity to it. And I love Buster. I'm Buster's biggest fucking fanboy, but I just think there's one thing that I'm just not really resonating with. I think is the overall chaotic fullness of the mix with Buster and Silent Planet's music. You know.
I hear you. There's something kind of interesting about the fan base with Silent Planet, because I think, Steve, you really like the new stuff, where there's some fans that like the old slam poetry core, homework core music. And to be honest, I'm kind of craving that old Silent Planet, because to me it did feel a little bit more unique when they were very like poetic with their lyrics. And now with the, working with Buster Odholm, it sounds full, it sounds chaotic, like Drew's saying, but it also sounds, not that different from majority of the scene. But at the same point, maybe they're working well with the fans that love modern metalcore, but also at the same time, there's these other set of metalcore fans that want something really fresh. And I feel like Silent Planet, which was like a very fresh sounding band to me, has kind of sounded like a little bit more similar to other bands. You can still tell it's Silent Planet because Garrett's vocals, Mitch's guitar work and everything, but they're not as inventive as they once were for me. But I still think the new song kicks ass. It's a powerful message, it's talking about the war and everything that's going on with like Ukraine too, and what they're doing, donating to children in need is like, it's a very like commendable thing. Just musically, yeah, it's quite similar to Super Bloom, still kicks ass, but I don't know, part of me kind of craves that Panic Room, Northern Fires kind of stuff back in the day too.
Yeah, I suspect there's an aesthetic preference that's going to be in there, because I connect more with the cool fucking Antimatter and Mindframe and like the kind of sexy fucking electronic hard-hitting stuff, because I'm not as interested in the sort of poetry bits and pieces, as much as that is impressive and unique and that made them different. I agree with you on that. They're less different from what other things are doing, but I think there's such good songwriters and musicians that still fucking hits. And I just love, they're just fucking bangers to me.
And it hits so well live too.
I feel it. Yeah, John? That's the other thing with Silent Planet. I absolutely like the reaction hasn't dropped yet for the new one. I have shot it. I absolutely loved it. I get what you're saying about it kind of putting them in the realm of so many other bands, especially in the production sense. We saw them recently when they were out here, and I get what Burb is saying, because I kind of felt the same way as they moved into this like akin to bands like, North Lane and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of sort of that electronic element, and it's really cool in a soundscape sense. But I think live, when you're actually seeing Garrett and you're seeing how visceral he is and how real he is, and when you see those words come out with him, you definitely get that old Silent Planet. But then again, it's like if someone has to view it live to get that feeling of the old stuff, is it the same?
Yeah, tricky. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Like Collider, Antimatter, all that stuff's so good live. Also, Johnny, it looks like you have like devil horns.
I was going to say, like, as maybe a transition into another topic here, you do look like you have come straight out of hell with your fucking like horns. Let's see what.
Yeah, no, right?
That was brought up.
How intentional is that? What signal are you sending him?
Have you guys noticed that they fucked up our sign as well? It looks like
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. I reckon that's a cheeky fat joke.
Nathan Jonk?
But anyway.
Jonk.
Jonk in the trunk.
Well, listen, perhaps it's a good segue for us to talk about the Prince of Darkness, who unfortunately has left this realm, in Ozzy Osbourne. What's fucking incredible is that he got the perfect send-off for the most amazing and influential career he had with that Back to the Beginning gig, where all the icons united and they played like covers of Sabbath and Ozzy songs, and he got to basically have a real-life eulogy of his whole career, which is an incredible thing. But obviously sad passing from him. I was wondering what impact he might have had on either of us. Drew's obviously probably too young to know who Ozzy is, but Johnny,
Johnny's too heartbroken to talk about this.
Yeah. No, really, Ozzy summoned him back to him.
Oh yeah, the devil horns. Yeah. Well, actually, Drew, how familiar are you with like Ozzy and Black Sabbath and all that?
I wouldn't really be able to tell you a lot of their. I've heard some of the Black Sabbath tunes be on the radio and shit over the last while just because of his passing, but I wouldn't be familiar with him at all. I probably know Ozzy more so through the is it Meet the Osbournes, the show?
Yeah.
I think I'm more familiar with the show than I would be with his solo music and Black Sabbath. So You know, it's never nice news to see someone's passed away. But if you're looking for like, I can't see a better way to go out than have that kind of a show. And like, I checked out, and I don't want to swing into Youngblood. I'm sure we'll get onto it, but I did check out his new album, and it was almost like it just feels like the stars. I know obviously you don't want to like paint someone passing away as like the stars aligning for someone else, but it really did feel like this massive. It was already enough of a passing of the torch moment for him to perform changes, but then for Ozzy to literally pass away, like whatever it was, 2 or 3 weeks later, a month later, like it was like almost poetic, like a movie. Like that will be a movie at some point, I'm sure. And I think Youngblood's actually doing some kind of a movie or something like that. It might be too soon for that to be included, but um, yeah, just I mean, yeah. In terms of my own experience with their music, it wouldn't be in detail at all.
Yeah, I'm not dissimilar actually, because we're not that far apart. I mean, I wonder what Burr's take is, but like Black Sabbath has never been exactly my cup of tea sound wise. It to me, it's much more of a kind of classic metal, but it's clearly inspired a lot of my favorite artists and bands, which is fucking great. You can't deny how influential they were. What they did at the time was extreme and very cool and creative, and he's an icon. But for me, similarly, I think of Ozzy as kind of breaking down the fourth wall to a degree, where you see someone who's like this Prince of Darkness. I heard like he ate a bat on stage and like threw it in the crowd. It's all that shit. And then you realize, oh, they're just a human being. They're funny, they're quirky, they're odd and adorable. And the Osbournes was, I think, a moment for me to kind of go, oh, rock maybe isn't as scary as it looks. Actually, these are human beings that are fun. And I think that's what I enjoy in doing what we do when we have guests on here who are musicians or I'm interviewing people on the podcast. Like I like understanding the people behind the fucking aggressive music that we enjoy. And I wonder how much that stemmed from peeking behind the door of Ozzy Osbourne via that show. So that's kind of the main takeaway I've got from him. But Bert, what about yourself? Have you been a fan of his music in general, or more of a kind of respectful admiration sort of take?
I just wanted to put Drew on the spot, but no, I'm kind of the same. Like I'm not. I when I did the Youngblood video, I did because people were asking like, "Where's your video about Ozzy Osbourne and stuff?" And like, first of all, I was on vacation, and second of all, I'm not going to just milk it for the sake of it because I'm not a huge Black Sabbath fan. I also am not like a huge fan. Well, I shouldn't say a huge fan. Like, more, I haven't checked out Ozzy Osbourne's music or Black Sabbath's music. The singles that I've heard, I like the singles a lot, right? But I think when it comes to Ozzy Osbourne, he's just such a iconic legend, not just in music, but also in entertainment, like the Osbournes, the stuff that he's done, obviously biting the bat's head and all this other stuff. He's just always been part of pop culture. And he's also been such an icon to be part of like the anti-culture to like the mainstream with like metal
True.
and stuff. So he's such an important figure, and he's influenced so much of the scene that we are in today. And what I like is also I did watch the Osbournes, and weirdly enough, after the Back to the Beginning show, I actually was watching Osbournes again. So my girlfriend and I have actually been watching the show, just watching reruns.
Wow.
Like literally, we were watching like, I don't know, we would binge like 4 episodes one night. And Ozzy is just so funny. He's so likable. And what I like is that, yeah, there's this stereotype that we're metalheads are evil, also drug addicts. Well, Ozzy was, but
he's not helped that. Yeah,
yeah, I know, but he's well aware of it. Yeah, but he's also such a good like family man too. Like I really respect him and Sharon's relationship too, and obviously seeing her break down and cry was actually quite sad to see, like at the funeral. And seeing everyone come together and show their love for Ozzy this year has been really cool to see the influence. So that's just been something that has been kind of bittersweet to see about all this. And yeah, the musically, like I want to go into Black Sabbath's music. I got more into classic rock than metal personally. I don't know about you guys, but Led Zeppelin, like I consider them classic rock, not metal, but like I never got into the old metal stuff too much. But one cool thing about Black Sabbath I found out was they were kind of like one of the people that are bands that introduced blast beats. I didn't really know that. Yeah, there's some like live performances because the drummer is very innovative. Sorry, I'm forgetting his name, but he was able to do some like blast beat stuff live, and just kind of cool that they were so influential to the metal scene.
Yeah, you make a good point. I was just focusing on my own experience, but like you're right. I think that they have helped a massive amount of people in otherwise the mainstream be more accepting of people who are wearing black and being kind of metalheads and being like, actually, you know what, they're not strange and weird in their own way. There's a lot of humanity there. So they've actually done a lot of good by doing that. I'm sure it was a tough thing to decide to do, and it felt like a huge risk. But it's very cool.
I'm just looking at my channel here. I have 2 Black Sabbath videos from 5 years ago. I checked out War Pigs 5 years ago, and then I checked out Paranoid. So yeah, interesting. I kind of forgot. I was just like, have I done Black Sabbath? So I've heard those 2 tracks. Can't remember what my opinions were at the time. My thumbnail looks happy, so I must have been happy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the idea of doing a deep dive on them seems nice, but I think my taste is just so far apart from what I'm aware of their sound being that I just don't know if it would be worth the deep dive. I just don't think I'd be able to stick with it, for their discography.
Yeah, potential.
The older you get, the more dad rock clicks. So just give it 10 years, man.
That's true.
I'm getting into that phase right now where I'm like listening to a lot of like
dude,
old stuff.
fucking Drew's getting into Ghost along with me. Like the early Ghost is very Sabbathy.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I finished the whole Ghost discography. I'm in. They've got some fucking bangers, man.
They have such haters. Like, yeah, they
certified Ghost fan.
Yeah.
Certified Ghost fan.
I watched a bit of your 7 Inches of Satanic Panic. Yes, that is the title of the EP.
Yeah.
That's bangers. Fucking great songs.
Yeah, I'm glad I checked that out. It was kind of like sometimes it's easy to just bypass the EPs. It's like, it's like 15 minutes, but I was very, very happy that I checked that out. So I suppose it makes sense for us to talk about the actual. Do you know what? I was only thinking about it because Andy Copping was talking about the Black Sabbath show with us on was it the last episode that we did? Was that no 2 episodes ago?
No, yeah,
3, yeah.
3 maybe.
Yeah. Like that was something that when he was saying it, it didn't really register in my brain because I'm not clued into the world of Black Sabbath at all. But like I didn't realize. I don't think a lot of people realize the extent of the talent that was going to be on display at that show as well. Like with 2 drumming, Youngblood performing, like all of the fucking like Mario Duplantier, Danny Carey, like just the
Ghost was there. Yeah, Travis Barker was there. It's fucking
James
massive.
Hetfield, like the picture
Chad
that they got
Smith.
with Ozzy Osbourne as well, like with all of the legends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like we was that like known that it was going to be that big of a deal at the time.
Now, not everyone showed up in it because on the original post they all said like Jonathan Davis was supposed to show up and some others.
Oh yeah.
But I knew about it, but I had already committed to checking out and covering Radar Festival, which is more my style of music.
Yeah.
So I was like, that is going to be a more like I've committed to that. I'm going to do that. And I didn't have a ticket or access to the Back to the Beginning thing. It would have cost quite a bit to do that. So I knew of it. I would have liked to have gone, but more for the occasion, less about the Sabbath. Because style of music is not really my thing. But it was a standalone, once in a lifetime sort of an event. So I wish I could have done both.
Yeah,
it is pretty cool though to be able to talk to Andy, and yeah, he did briefly talk about it, but he had so many interesting stories that he just lightly touched on the whole Black Sabbath thing, and then when it actually happened, I'm like, oh, this is a huge deal. And actually, I wouldn't mind pivoting to Youngblood because, God damn.
Dude.
So yeah, Youngblood, I discovered him through the Bring Me the Horizon collab when he was a feature on that.
Same.
Yeah, and then I've been checking out some of his new songs, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, sure, there is like some sort of like mainstream polished production, but there's no denying the talent. The dude has a fantastic voice, and that song, I forget the name of it, the 9-minute song that's quite progressive. Very, very cool. So Youngblood already has like my respect, and then seeing that live performance, like actual chills, like that was nuts. How incredible he was. Yeah. So
I mean, I was introduced via the same song, Obey. And I think at some point YouTube went, you might want to see this live acoustic duet that Youngblood did with Avril Lavigne. I was like, you're absolutely fucking right. I do want to see that. And it was incredible. And that's when I went, oh, he's not just like some kind of guest, unusual caricature thing. He has legitimate chops. And he seems absolutely sound as well. He has his own festival that he started called Bloodfest. And the reason he's done it is because he's come from a working class background. It's just like festivals these days are hundreds of pounds to attend. And he's like, there shouldn't be a barrier to entry that is financially linked for people to experience live music. So he's put on his own festival. And it's like, I don't know what the exact price is, but it's something like 20 to 30 pounds a ticket. It's like really low cost to try and make sure that you are fueling the industry and the fans with like some quality live entertainment that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, which is a really like it's a massive undertaking to do. But he does seem to have a heart of gold, and he's doing his best at everything he's doing. So yeah, very much respect that lad.
Yeah, and it's paid off as well. He has the most ridiculously loyal fan base I think I've ever seen. Like
Really?
probably even more so than Sleep Token. Like it's insane. These people
Really?
will die for this man. Yeah, and it's deserved, man. I think you guys should check out his 2020 album Weird. I don't know if you have already, but it's so fucking good. I checked out his Weird album. The name of it is weird. It is a bit weird, to be fair. There's some fucking wacky songs in there, but it's so good. I checked out his most recent album as well, and I didn't enjoy it as much as Weird. It's literally like the name describes it perfectly. It is weird. I feel like the new album does lose a bit of that like edgy weirdness. It's got some fantastic like vocal performances and like really like operatic style tracks, but both are really good. But yeah, I think you both would probably really enjoy Weird for sure. Very good album.
So many bands where I have to do a deep dive into their discography.
Yeah.
Actually, I know you started doing it, Drew, but this is something I've been meaning to do, especially with their album coming out soon. But Deftones, I've only heard 3 albums, which, you know, is still a good amount. But what, they have like 10 albums or something, so need to do the Deftones, and I'm very excited to check out Around the Fur finally.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard all of their songs, so I can't do that. But I can do one of my classic album deep dives and revisit one with like an analytical brain and see what, because they were transformative in our household in terms of the metal universe. Like my brother got me into metal, and we learned of Deftones because of the Matrix movie soundtrack. They were on that with My Own Summer, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And Paul's been obsessed ever since. And I've loved the first like 3 to 4 albums, and then they got weirder. And then like there's a couple songs on each one that I liked in the later stages, but early stuff is fucking amazing.
I didn't know it was in the Matrix.
Oh, the soundtrack is fucking.
Is it like
Rage
the
Against
full-on
the
riff,
Machines
or
on
is
it?
Or is it the actual like the kind of sexier part of it?
The whole thing. It's the whole song. My Own Summer.
The whole song.
From there on, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That also had,
who
who else was, I think the Prodigy were on that. Marilyn Manson was on that. Rage Against the Machine was on that. It's a fucking Rob Zombie.
You're not getting that today. There's no movies that are pulling out that kind of heat with like music.
Rock and metal is on the uptick right now.
Yes. Let's
Still
fun
happening.
stats.
Still not happening.
Jesse Lee, he posted something that was quite interesting about the statistics on that. We'll try and pull that up.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about it, but you can already tell, like you can already sense it a little bit, like soundtracks and games too, and other things. It seems like it's being part of pop culture a little bit more, but also with like arena shows and other things and these festivals, it's just like, I don't know, it's doing really fucking well lately, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
You see, I have this really hard thing with seeing that because we're so deeply involved in it that I can't see the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Like I actually don't know, because to me it's my everyday life as it is. So if it's like all of a sudden more people are aware of it, I have no idea.
Here's some stats.
Seeing these articles just don't really do much for me. I'm like, it's probably just some kind of clickbait.
No, because it's something that Andy Copping has confirmed essentially from his side, because he's involved in booking the major festivals and obviously arena shows. And so heavy rock shows are up 14% this year. Metal is owning nearly 13% of arena and stadiums bookings, which is fucking wild, because normally arenas you think pop stars, country stars, hip hop stars. For metal to be having that big of an impact is absolutely massive. It's going fucking great guns.
Venues are maybe because you don't get too many shows in Dublin, but the venues in Toronto, they keep getting bigger for these bands too. They always keep getting to these, they're not playing these tiny shows anymore. It's always like these bigger venues in the city, so that's one way that I can indicate that it's doing well.
Yeah,
and it's all thanks to us guys. It's us really promoting metal on YouTube. That's all.
So humble, Steve.
Yeah, so just only us 4 actually. What happened to Johnny?
He said
he's good.
He said give me 15, so he's going to try and get back. He's probably run into a different location that might have some internet.
Yeah, fucking hell.
See. Poor guy.
do we want to talk about another big band that is getting a lot of numbers and they're a little bit divisive, which is a band you saw recently, Steve?
Oh, that is true.
Yeah. So what do you... Okay, first off, I would love to know how that President show was, Steve.
Well, obviously, if you were subscribed with notifications on my channel, you would have seen my review, Bert. But I will...
But spoilers, I don't want to hear... listen to the songs.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Good point. Fair point. That was fun. I enjoyed it. It felt like a moment. It had a bunch of buzz to it. Everyone was fucking stoked to be there. There were some very intense fans. People have tattoos of President already.
That's insane.
They've released 3 songs. Like, for all we know,
insane.
this is a like prank project. It's like this 5-track EP.
I'm saying,
yeah, that's the shit that weirds me out. Not even gonna hide
That's strong,
it.
Isn't it? That's really strong. I mean, fucking everyone's different. Do what you like. It's your own body. It's your own fandom. I don't have any issue with it.
And I can cringe to it too. I'm allowed to cringe to it.
I don't think it's cringe. I think it's surprising. I'm just like, wow, that's really connected with you if you're willing to take that big of a long term, risk of this. But my thinking on this though is they might be a super fan of the individual who is the frontman and going like, you know what, their track history I'm bought in on, so I'm in on this because this is the best version of them. Like,
that is the only iota that is saving that as being an acceptable thing. All right, that they might happen to be a super fan of said individual. Okay. Yeah. And look, again, everyone know who free will. I've done some crazy shit. People have their opinions of me and us, but like, there's just not enough. Okay, let's pretend he doesn't have these, this history and this project of, he's this other superstar. That's insane to have a tattoo of. We're really like single people out here. I don't like it, but in my opinion, of course, do what you want. Having 3 songs. Do you know what? That's just the President fans are the worst fans on earth. I hate them already. I'm a fan of the band. Worse than Sleep Token fans. Johnny, welcome back, by the way. How are you?
We're like raging against President, apparently.
I
hate President fans.
So to bring you up to speed, I just went to see President's inaugural rally. Their first headline gig in London, and we're chatting about them, what that experience was like, and noticing that there are fans who already have tattoos of the President logo, like, and not just like amongst a bunch of tattoos, like it is the only tattoo on their neck. So like, this is the fan.
Okay, you're really strong. Just calling out one person.
No. I've seen they've seen tattoos here. So I've not seen anywhere else other than like
actually
temporary tattoo shot somewhere.
Maybe it's legit.
It's henna tattoo. It's a henna tattoo that they were doing on the night.
It is deep under skin, I promise.
Well, we saw that at Download a little bit where they're all wearing their shirts and stuff like all day, which I thought was actually really surprising because we only heard 2 songs at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, fucking different strokes, different folks. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Like, do your own thing. I think it's surprising because I don't relate to that on any band level because I'm like, well, let's see where they go. Let's give them some time to marinate a little bit first.
Is this a stab at my Thrice
Johnny,
sleeve?
Where's your tattoo?
I knew it.
You've had time.
No,
you've had time with the band.
You've had enough time to realize that the band's probably not good. The worst thing about the band tattoos is, are they going to get cancelled? Like, at some point, that's always the fear for me. I'm like, fuck, I'd love to go full send with like, but I feel like if a band's been around for enough years, you just kind of like, it's a bit of a fail safe. But I know President, like we said, their lead vocalists has other projects. So yeah, that's like the merit there for me. It's like, okay, that makes sense. If you've been following forever, you're just fully on board.
Forever, like 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, of the main individual who was in the previous.
Yeah, like if you've been following their bands and their projects for years. But look, I will say it is like I know a lot of people get like crosses and stuff on their neck as tattoos, so it is kind of like a cool variation of that. It's a little bit quirky. It's a cool tattoo.
It doesn't look shit.
It doesn't look shit. It's just the
We're still
I hate
talking
President
about the
fans so much.
tattoos.
I hate
Not
them.
even the music.
I don't have. I think it's interesting. I think it's a point of
them.
interest. I don't have a strong opinion about it. It's like you do you, man.
No, I know. I don't hate the guy who has a tattoo. I hate President fans already.
Wow.
Fucking. And I'm a President fan.
Well,
I like President.
Hang on. This is the thing. This is what this podcast is supposed to be about. not every fan
I
is the
hate
same.
myself.
Not every
know,
fan is
right?
the same, right? Not all Sleep Token fans are fucking unhinged mad people, because we're not.
I know,
As much
are you
people
sure
might
about
think,
that?
because we're talking about a bunch. But no, like there are president fans, and then there are president fans. And actually, in my comments on my videos, because I did a review of that, and I'm not like all in on president, and I'm not like they're shit. There's some balance in there, and there are lots of very calm comments who would be like, I completely agree with you. I actually, though, think that this is okay, and I'm enjoying the vocal effects, whatever it is. There's a lot of balance. There's also some really tilted people,
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
But that's going to be, with anything that's this level of hype, it's a fucking guarantee you're going to get all sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed your honest review of it as well, Burb. I saw it just the other day. And I think it's important to just be honest, to be fully transparent and not talk shit about the band or anything, because they're not a shit band.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing wrong with the band at all. But yeah, it's that weird one where you're like, I want to let people love what they love for whatever reason, but what's the reason you guys are going so hard in the paint on this band? Like, because it's weird, man. It's weird.
I appreciate it is weird. I appreciate you saying that I not talk shit, but then I was also kind of talking shit about that mask, because that mask,
It's
man, I
bad.
can't do it.
That's fine. That's an aesthetic choice. That's not the music necessarily. That's just a...
Yeah, but you're doing it in a funny way as well. That's not a big deal.
Literally, the very first teaser that they put on Instagram, where like flash the image, I commented it on their post, the I think you should leave mask. Like right away, it like split second, I noticed it right away. Now I can't unsee it. But I will say, like, short summary of my review, and like also I've kind of gathered my thoughts a little bit more, is that President, I'm in for the hype. I think it's kind of cool. New mass band. I'm kind of like, I'm very intrigued. First song, I actually liked the first song. Second single was all right. Third song is just all right too. But the more like music that they release, the more of a disconnect there is with the whole identity of this presidential look. And the music just seems like kind of like little like mainstream octane rock with like a little bit of Sleep Token pitch shifted guitars. Like there's not really anything substantial musically, and it's also just not connecting the whole identity. And with all the hype surrounding it, I'm like, there's so many other bands that are just not getting acknowledged that I wish people were listening to. Like, I keep talking about Vour. Vour is a band that I think has the chops. They're really good songwriters. I understand there's not like massive appeal to the big demographic, but with President, I'm like, yeah, they're cool, but guys, there's a lot of other sick bands out there that I hope that you check out too.
And I
I
think
think you're absolutely on the money.
I think it's also a case of, see, I had a little bit of the opposite to Burb. I was like, the first song, because that was the one you heard after all the hype, I was just like, is this what everyone's hyping up? Like, it's good, but I mean, like, it's not. Yeah. And then the second one came out. I'm like, okay, I get what they're doing and all that. I think the thing is with the mask and the whole persona, where's the additional, like, we live in 2025 where content is king. Where's the additional content? Where's the story? Where's the skits, or where's the mystery going on around it? Because it was literally just, it's a dude in a mask, and it's cool because it's a dude in a mask. And I also feel like, I don't feel like bands should get instant gratification and instant top of the charts stardom just because of who they are. I think you should have to earn it. You should have to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, like the reality is it's never going to be the case, because the reason they've had that great start is because they have built a track history of being a great performer. And it's like, when we do play live, it's going to be very polished. And that is something that people will care about who are booking things. And like, if they buy into the idea, they'll be like, okay, let's take a chance on you here. So like, that's, they've done the groundwork, not in this band, but in previous bits and pieces. And it's like, it's kind of inextricable.
But then why be so hardcore on hiding who the person is? Because everyone seems to know, you know what I mean? Like, they worked it out 10 times.
Marketing.
10 times quicker than Sleep Token. Like,
marketing to create the intrigue. They've seen the blueprint of Sleep Token, and they want to, that's clearly something that they're with the same management. Like, that makes sense. Also, part of this, I think, is there was a lot of difficulty with this individual's previous heavy rock band getting accepted in the heavy rock scene because of their previous band that made them very famous. So perhaps their hope was they could start a whole new thing where no one knows who they are and get accepted at face value. but it's an undeniable voice, and fans track down as well, like through trademarks, who that was. So it's unfortunate on that level. But yeah, I think that I'm kind of with what Bird was saying about, I like the fact that there's a level of interest, there's a bit of concept, it's unusual, it's different, it's a talking point, it's fun. But the music needs to be amazing. And I think the music is above average. But there's so many bands I consider to be amazing. So it feels like a bit of a letdown. And the more music we get, the more I'm going, this is above average. This is good. This is very solid stuff. But it's not going to keep my interest beyond the concept. And I do think, to your point, Johnny, I think they're missing a bit of a trick with, I don't know anything more about why it is a fucking president concept. Because the songs don't seem to speak about that. They're like personal trauma, demons, whatever it is. But it's not, where's the presidential
Yeah, there's
thing?
no
I don't
connection
really
between
know.
the two.
He did talk about it in an interview, talking about the whole presidential thing, but I'm still not hearing it in the music. You know,
Yeah.
there is a reason why they had this president thing going on, but to me, it still feels inauthentic. It still feels a little forced. It feels like marketing tactics that they're using from Sleep Token, because it obviously worked for them. And one thing about Sleep Token is, like, yeah, a lot of people like chirp on Sleep Token for the mask thing, but it's very authentic, because if you pay attention to the lyrics, he wants to be very private. I get the impression that he is quite insecure about a lot of the emotions that he feels. There's like, he's trying to hide himself, but with President, it's just like, oh, let's do this. This might work. Let's try this. It just feels so manufactured.
Yeah, you've also with Sleep
We're-
Token, you've also got
as
the
with
whole,
lots of things.
Sorry, yeah, with Sleep Token, you've also got the whole lore. You know, they've built this whole thing over time, and maybe President just hasn't had the chance to build that yet. Maybe that's something that Sleep Token
Yes.
True, yeah.
kind of found along the way. But when they did,
True,
they really
yeah.
went in on it. They really doubled down on it, and they really made it a focal point. It wasn't even about the masks. It wasn't even about, you know, hiding who the band was. It was all about the excitement of working out, like their little Easter eggs that they drop and things like that. Like, that's fun for fans. This feels like it is just basically, well, it worked for them, it should work for us.
But it's a great point there. Like, it is kind of new. They've not had that much time, so there is a bunch of space where we're kind of guessing. And I think the beauty of that and the problem with that is you can project your own hopes and ideals on that. I think that might be why some people go, I'm getting a fucking tattoo of this band, because what they fill within that space is something that really aligns to them and what they think the lore should be and how it is, and they go, I'm in. But someone else fills that with, like, this is a bit contrived, this is industry plant, whatever it is, then you're going to fill all of that space with that stuff and be like, I'm out. So there's a risk there because of the lack of
I got this
information.
neck tattoo, man, because, like, yeah, I've just always had this, like, real deep connection with presidents, you know? Like, and just when President came out, I was just like, man, it just
Yeah.
works for me.
Oh,
One of us, man. They're always there for us, you know? And
Drew, what are your thoughts, man? I feel like you've probably been liking President a little bit more than us, but maybe I'm wrong.
I thought the first song was... This first song grew on me. When I first heard it, first listen, I kind of said, okay, well, there's the hype. Like, because obviously there was so much hype going into it. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of like a metalcore song. It's kind of experimental in a way, but it's ultimately, if you just boil it down, it's just a metalcore song, which, based on how they were marketing it, and obviously with the Sleep Token comparisons, it felt like it was maybe going to be a little bit more of a blend. But it just felt like, you know, it was okay. I thought it was enjoyable. I listened to it a few more times after the fact, after the reaction, and actually was like, do you know what? This is actually something that I think is pretty cool. The vocal effects are something I'm still not on board with. Fearless dropped, and I thought that was pretty disappointing, in my opinion. I know some people really liked it. I thought the chorus is great, but the vocal effects are just really rough. And then I thought the newest track, which I know
Rage.
I haven't seen yourself, Johnny. I'm not sure what your opinion is on it, but I actually really enjoyed the step into, like, it literally sounded like they sampled Glue by Bicep. Like, it literally sounded like they took that entire sample. There's a lot of people talking about it. When I was listening to it, I was like, this sounds like a Bicep song, like a fully EDM track at the start. And a lot of people were like, yeah, that literally sounds like they just sampled that song, which was kind of cool and unique. But it's, again, apart from the vocal effects that they use, I'm fully on board with the vocal melodies and everything that they're trying to do. Like, I mean, I'm not expecting it to be like the most, you know, groundbreaking thing in the world on their third song, but it's literally just the main thing, the sticking point for me is the vocal effects, which is why I dislike their weirdo fan base that they have built up, or like at the moment, because they like, I've used the term autotune. Now I'm not a producer and whatever. When I say autotune, just replace it with vocal effects. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now we've got that boxed off.
Vocal
It's still the same
manipulation.
point. The point I'm making, yeah, the point I'm making is that it doesn't sound like a human. It sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the lyrics are like emotionally like leaning. So it's like I can't emotionally connect a lot of the time to a robot. So it's just this weird disconnect. So
I'm assuming
yeah, I thought Rage was cool.
I'm assuming that they would have had this EP recorded, done and dusted well before we're hearing it. Do you think that maybe like that was
Sure.
like the production on the vocals was a conscious thing to try and hide the, you know, who it really is?
I have to imagine.
Because they're so heavy
But
on it.
also, it's possible that he likes that effect sound, which is also fair fucking enough. It's might be a stylistic choice. Like I like it, just fine.
Yeah. It sounds like an AI voice filter. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's
It
just
sounds like
so
a
digital, man. That's another thing. Like, okay, it's the new music and a new hype band, and it just sounds artificial and processed. And I think a lot of people are craving more authentic, real music, especially with like the influence of AI everywhere.
I think
To a degree,
Yeah.
I also just don't like it as a sound. I don't
Yeah.
mind if a vocal is hitting a note and then the tuning comes in late and just makes that note that they sustain nice and crystal clear. That's fine. What I struggle with is like at the end of a line, it's almost like someone's wobbling his throat. It's like I'm like, that's weird, man. Like I don't enjoy that as a sound. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I think like it, you know how Burby just said like that's the new sound and that's what, you know, people are loving or whatever, and we want something more. But we're also talking from the perspective of guys that have been into this stuff for a long, long time, and we want to hear raw vocals, we want to hear raw emotion. But this is also in like, because I sit where you guys do on the band as a whole, but this is also a pretty smart move from a marketing point and from a sound point, because if this is a current sound that's going to help bridge that gap between mainstream and what we love, it's a smart move, because it's just going to be a gateway that's going to get another whole bunch of people in, like Sleep Token did. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the whole point of signing this band, putting them together, is to create another guitar-driven band that's going to be pushed into the forefront of people and boost the scene. And I'm all for that. It's just the fans doubling down on the. We've had so much of it in the comments, dudes. Like, oh, how can you talk shit about the vocal effects, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my God, man, just shut the fuck up. Stop typing, please.
There's a chance we're all just fucking dinosaurs as well. Like, you know, we're not 20-year-olds who are completely plugged in. So it's might be like, well, listen, in my day, you know, you had to learn to sing and you had to practice that. You know, part of it could be that, of course.
No, like the problem to me is that it's like the reluctancy for people to see the criticism. It's like I've seen comments on my videos where it's like, I'm already sick of people talking about the vocal effects. It's like, well, maybe the reason you're sick of seeing it is because so many people are talking about it, because it's clearly something that a lot of people aren't into. There is an audience there that are into it. And I think musically it's very bright, and it's in the modern realm that I'm into in terms of like the production details, the sonic landscapes. Like this is why, again, which is why it's such a divisive conversation as well, because I know Steve has said it a few times as well, where it's so close to being there. And that's why the main frustration lies for me, is because it's like, I know that I'm really enjoying most of this, but when he starts to kind of, it's like this wheezy, like, like it's like his voice is robotically breaking is the best way I can say. I don't know. It just feels like it's right there.
That with the mask too.
Tell us what you really
think. The mask is pretty cool.
It's just the whole gimmick, man. It's getting, with each new song, I'm getting less interested in it.
It's a fucking shame, because like the choruses are great. Fearless chorus regularly gets stuck in my head, as does In the Name of the Father. And like Rage, I enjoy, because the electronic vibe of that, I think, made the vocal effects flow a bit better somehow. I actually thought that was pretty decent. But
this is also
good live.
Yeah, they've just announced they're coming
they're
here.
fucking talented. Like, they can play well, but at download, I noticed none of the vocal effects. at the gig that they played earlier this week. I could tell they were using them live, and it does pull me out.
So
I'm just like, I want to hear your voice.
So you've obviously seen them live. I'm excited. They're coming here with Architects. I'm keen as to watch them just to see it in the flesh sort of thing. That's kind of part of the reason I haven't actually watched any of the download footage except the snippets and reels on socials. So they actually use that live as well. And is it a backing thing, or is his voice running through a processor or effects or something?
I don't know. It's very hard to tell through live speakers what exactly is going on. It might be that he's doubling over a backing that has that, and you can have a bit of disconnect, which might give a bit of that. I would be surprised if it isn't a live effect that's applied to the voice. And it's just like, again, I think a lot of people, if you're using vocal effects like that live, a lot of decent singers could be on the same stage, just making the same similar sounds, and the effects would fill in the gaps and make it sound similar to what the others. So it's not special that it's that guy on stage singing, because anyone else would sound similar through the same thing. So it makes it less live feeling and interesting in that way. And there seems to be less of it on the choruses.
Yeah,
and those fucking slap.
Exactly.
Live.
Yeah.
The choruses are good. Yeah. That's the thing about the verses for me. Like, I guess I don't care as much about the vocal effects, because even without any effects, like, I still think they're average verses. Like, I don't know, the melodies are just pretty good. Like, everything about it is like,
I agree,
pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, overall, I think they're above average, and I think that is a good thing. And if you go see them live, you'd be like, "It was a good show." It is a good show, but it's not as good as other bands that have less refined kind of image marketing.
It must be hard for a guy like that, though, as well. Like, he was obviously such an important part of metalcore. If it is who we think it is. So when you start a new band that's kind of in the same scene, maybe he's just trying to do something that really separates this work from his previous work.
Maybe. What is interesting is I listened to their previous work while they were touring. I even went to see them live because I really wanted to see the support band, who was Ruben, who I fucking love. And I never really connected with that former band. It kind of was fine, but the melodies I thought were good, but not great. It's kind of, and that makes me wonder, oh, well, maybe there's a through line there, and it's just not quite exactly my thing.
Fair enough.
It's tricky. But fuck, there's so many good moments. I'm
glad you guys brought me on for the one that's going to get heaps of hate. So cheers for that.
Yeah.
By the way, I am obviously, things have changed. I'm in my home now because the internet at the studio is absolute dog shit. It's pissing down rain here at the moment, like torrential. Yeah.
Oh.
You went from hell to heaven. This is
now your internet's fine. Yeah.
You've ascended.
Yeah, the completely white room, the light behind you and all. It's the complete opposite. What I was going to say is I finally listened to the Callous Daoboys album, Burb. Have you heard that, Johnny?
I have not, and that is a band, for whatever reason, we have still not done a reaction for, and they are so heavily requested.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
It's fucking hard to keep up with all this shit, man.
It is, but put Callous Daoboys a little bit higher up.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you're
also
into.
have
It
to
depends
wait.
on what you're into. Like,
Yeah.
I've not
knowing
liked...
Johnny, I think he might like some of their stuff, actually.
Okay.
I reckon I would, from what I've heard.
I feel like I'm in the same boat. Like, yeah. Yeah, no, the album was... people were on me for ages because I really didn't... I seen them play with Tesseract maybe like last year or something. And I'd heard a song or two before out of context, and it was just chaotic and wacky. And then I seen them play with Tesseract, and there was like 19 people on the stage throwing fucking trumpets around and all. I was like, what is happening? Like, this is not the vibe for a Tesseract show. And then I heard Lemon, one of the singles off the new album. And I'm like, this is one of the best songs of the year. Like, it's like is it like Frank Ocean? What's the melody? It's like the Frank Ocean song, the really, really popular Frank Ocean song. It sounds like that, but it's also got like some fun, like kind of janky guitars and shit. And it just has that like that edgy metal feel to it, even though it's not really that prominent throughout the song. You just know at any point it could go there. And then people were on me on my Twitch, like, when are you doing the album? When are you doing the album? I was like, I'll eventually get around to it. And I did. And yeah, they balanced that was my worry, that I was going to just be sitting there and just drown in this chaos for like an hour. I was like, fuck, this is going to be too much. But they did such a nice balance of like, here's 3 mental songs, and then here's like a song to just kind of chill you out, and then they kind of go back into it slowly, and then all of a sudden you're back in the chaos, and it flowed so well. But they also have like certain songs on it that you can just go back to a few times and like really, really like play over and over again, like Lemon. So yeah, I
Are they
was
sort of-
massively surprised by how good that album is.
I kind of, I don't know why, but I figured that they were like, maybe it's the name as well. I figured they were like an Electric Callboy style band, but it sounds like they might be closer to Dillinger Escape Plan.
They're Dillinger and Every Time I Die kind of vibes.
Oh,
so
dude.
I know you're a fan of Every Time I Die, right?
Yeah,
So
and Dillinger.
yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like that where they can go really chaotic and then they'll have like the odd song like Lemon that's pretty soft. So it's just pretty much like the new Every Time I Die for like the new generation, I guess.
They just went up the list. They're a
Yeah.
higher priority now.
That's what I mean. Growing
But
up in the scene
what
too,
starting song, Burb?
honestly, I think Lemon actually is probably a good. It's not my favorite, but I think for Johnny, it's like a good song to just like warm you up to. That's like more of the rock chill track, and then you'll listen to their next song, and it'll be like way aggressive in your face, and you'll be like, "Holy shit, this is a 180."
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be one place that you could start with this band that would like set you up, set your expectations straight for what you're about to hear for the rest of it. Like if you listen to Lemon, you're going to be shocked by it. If you listen to like Douchebag Safari is one of the new songs, which I fucking love off the new album. And then you listen to Lemon, you're going to be shocked as well. So, yeah, sick band. That album.
Two-Headed Trout is good too. That music
These
video,
names are
Two-Headed Trout,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
the Demon of Unreality, the 10-minute long video. I think that's a good one because you get two songs there. I think that's a good starting point for John.
Or Tears on Lambo Leather. Like their names are
That sounds
hilarious.
sick. Yeah.
You know what's weird?
Yeah, I like like 8 songs off that.
I'm already following them.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong
You're
with
like,
me?
one day, sweet child.
Yeah. Another band I wanted to bring up as well is I've been so high on them is Orbit Culture. I know myself, Burb, and Steve have talked about them a little bit. Have you done much of their work in the past, Johnny?
Yeah, we've done most of the singles they've dropped. I'm still yet to do the new one. But yeah.
Right, okay.
But yeah, big fan. I think they're great. I think there's such I won't say breath of fresh air, but kind of a breath of fresh air in the metal scene.
Yeah.
I think my problem with it is to me, it doesn't feel like a breath of fresh air. It feels like an old school or metal that's got a modern
That's
metal
why it's
sound
fresh.
to it in terms of production. Yeah, but that, I don't know.
I'm kind of
not really plugged in yet.
Like I think it does appeal to the old school metal a little bit too, but progressive. Like I think they're sick. The new stuff I haven't loved as much, maybe because like it's not that different from the old stuff. But I haven't checked out the newest single, Drew. So I don't know.
No, I just wanted to get Johnny's opinion on the sentiment that they are like the future of modern metal. Now, I'll tell you my opinion before we go. I don't see that. I get the idea behind it because they have like a Metallica feel in some of their choruses, which Burb mentioned before, and I didn't understand that at all because I haven't heard a lot of their I'd only heard a few of their newer songs. But on their newest one, their chorus is like the most Metallica coded thing ever.
There you
go. So I think it's sick. I think it sounds really good because again, we've already mentioned Buster, but that's a band that I feel suits that Buster mix so much compared to the likes of Silent Planet. They're just like caveman shit, like 0 blast beat. Like it's just that kind of shit just works with Buster so much, and they also throw in like the odd like atmospheric sounds as well. So yeah, to me, I'm not like subscribed to the idea that they are the band that's going to take them metal and the scene to the next level, but I think for what they're doing, they're so exciting, just so relentlessly heavy.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I don't think I've never listened to them as the future of modern metal. I've listened to them as for guys who are into old school metal that don't want to listen to new metal and give it a chance. I think they're a perfect bridge. Like they're the connective tissue between old school and new school. I don't think they're the future. I think if you're going to look at the future of metal, you have to look at bands like Sleep Token and Lorna Shore. Like they're two opposite ends of the spectrum. But Orbit Culture are just really cool because they have that. If you put a band there that's just doesn't have too much of that overproduced modern sort of gent-esque production, and you give it some old school riffs, some Metallica vocals, but you give it that heaviness and that wall of sound and that down-tuned sort of vibe, it's gonna connect with older fans a lot more. But clearly, younger people are loving it because they're just such a solid band as well. I hope that they are one of those bands that can sort of reinvigorate old school fans to start checking out new music.
I love
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah. You mentioned that Sleep Token are like Sleep Token and Bring Me the Horizon are like the future. I would argue that they're the present. But so I'm trying to think. Then I have to argue who is the future then, which I think is another interesting conversation we could all
They
have.
were the future.
I still think they are the future because they're influencing the new generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're a band that you still have
Then
no
we're
idea
gonna
what you're
get a
going to get. You don't know what they're going to
True.
do. There were so many surprises on that new album.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're going to get a lot of copycats. We're going to get a lot of bands that sound like Sleep Token and a lot of like Bring Me the Horizon sounding bands. We already are, but there's
already
going to
do.
be more. That's what I mean. That I still think, yeah, I agree. They're the future, and that's going to be a hot take. That's they're not metal. Well, this is a way to change people's perception of what metal is.
Yeah, metal changes.
Also, why does it have to be given the label
like
metal?
we were talking earlier.
Why do we have to worry so much about it being the future of metal? Why can't it just be the future of heavy music? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's more
if
important to
metal
look at it as-
becomes like a protected term,
Yeah.
then sure. Yeah, because the thing is, metal, like Black Sabbath, we were chatting about earlier, that was metal. Now, I don't think that doesn't really measure up to what is current metal, but what is current metal is still metal. But some people will think, no, that's not metal because only things that are like Black Sabbath, the old school stuff, was metal. Metallica's metal. Nothing since has been metal. But that genre is changing over time. So actually, anyone that's going like Sleep Token isn't metal, is like, you just haven't caught up. It
Yeah.
is. Metal isn't just one thing for the whole song. It is all kinds of things, including the heaviest shit you've like the heaviest stuff that Sleep Token do is so much heavier than anything that ever happened in metal in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also just depends on who you ask, because depending on who you ask, you'll get like if I do like a list on whatever social media platform of this band, X band, this is the top 5 metal songs or whatever, they're like, well, metalcore is metal, deathcore is metal. Like it's just depending on who you actually ask for a definition of what metal is. That's where the lines definitely get blurred.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I
we
don't even
here
know what metal
enjoy the
is.
full buffet of sounds that exist within metal, and that's part of the fun. So if you are lucky enough to allow yourself to experiment with different bands, genres, and things, then you can have the buffet of musical life.
Who's metal then currently?
Can we talk about one? I want to mention one band before we sign off here, but have you guys checked out the new Fit for a King song? I know they're dropping an album tomorrow. Oh wait, Johnny, you have. I haven't watched your review, but
yeah,
this was like to me, this was like the best Fit for a King song that I've heard in a long time from them. So it actually sold me on the album. I'm very excited for this new album.
the album is fucking fantastic.
Lonely
Oh,
God.
you heard it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great, man. I think
Okay.
that for a band that's been doing it for as long as they have, to still just absolutely smash that sort of middle ground between everything from deathcore to stadium rock to metalcore, even the traditional metal influences that they've got in there, it's just done so well. They're a band that just don't miss in that. And I spoke about this when I chatted to Ryan, how they managed to sort of like seamlessly transition between all those things. And they managed to completely fucking sidestep all of the hate. You know what I mean? Like everyone's totally on board with it. And it sort of made me wonder why they're not actually bigger than they are, because they crush it. They crush the mainstream stuff. They crush the deathcore stuff. And Ryan's voice is just insane. So
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, eh? How they haven't gone like bigger than they should be for how long they've been around. But I think this new album, I see a lot of people talking about it, and I've been enjoying the songs. But this new song with Chris Motionless was actually so good
yeah.
that I'm very, very excited for it. Have you guys checked it out, Steve or Drew?
Yes, but I didn't really dig it, which is
Ooh.
interesting because I fucking love Technium.
Oh,
And I thought Lonely God was excellent. But the one with Chris Motionless, maybe I was just in the wrong mindset that day, but it didn't seem that interesting to me. But maybe it needs more plays to really kind of get into my bones. But I thought it was like, it's a fine bit of kind of heavy metalcore, but I didn't think it was that notable. Whereas Technium, the fucking groove of that I could live in forever.
Yeah.
What universe are we
Interesting.
living in where Steve is not that into a metalcore track and Burr was like singing the praise of a metalcore track? I'm lost here.
I don't know.
I'm getting over metalcore in a way.
Yeah.
Well, as you were talking there, though, you reminded me of another band. I think you mentioned like deathcore and metalcore and the rest, who I think are criminally underrated, and that is Make Them Suffer. I think they are fucking amazing. And they took a lot of heat from the recent album. It was like, oh, all the songs sound the same. I mean, these two lads had that kind of opinion. I'm like, yeah, but it's great. It's the fucking best sound. So if you just sit in that for a whole album, just loop that forever, you'll be happy forever. Like that's where I'm at. But I think they fucking kill live as well. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're a sick band. Yeah, sure, maybe I didn't love the album, but I fucking love that band, man. Some of their songs, like Contraband and others, are so good. They're amazing live. I love that band. Just, the new album, I'd rather just listen to the songs I like rather than go through the album personally.
Yeah, I think that is probably them sort of, second album with Alex, trying to find where they can go and what other sounds they can play with, you know what I mean? Like, they've obviously stepped away from the early sort of like real deathy sort of stuff. I like the last album more, personally, but yeah, they're in that weird place where they're getting so big now. It's like, what step do they take next? Because are they going to alienate fans? Are they going to, get fans if they try different stuff? Are they going to lean into using Sean and Alex as clean vocalists more? What do you do in this position? It's a fucking tough position being a metalcore band. It really is. Like, I do not envy any of these metalcore bands that have a huge album and then they have to follow it up, because it's like, you just don't know. So many metal fans and metalcore fans are just like, I just want the same thing again, because that's my thing.
Yeah, they think they want that, but they won't want it when they get it.
Yeah.
Do the Thrice approach and write a completely different album with Visu and totally change everyone's opinion and do something weird. And hopefully the fan base follows along.
Hey, here's a question for you guys then. What is a band, like obviously Verb and I have Thrice. I also have Poison the Well. What is a band for you guys that's completely sidestepped and it's hit for you and you've stayed on the journey?
I think I've asked this question, and it's because I was using Thrice as my example.
Well, what's interesting is one of my absolute favorite bands, who I think is probably objectively going against our rankings and model metal bands, probably the best metal band in the world, is Bring Me the Horizon, who sidestepped so fucking hard into Ammo, and I wasn't on board. But then they sidestepped in a different direction afterwards, and I was like, I like this though. And actually, what they did between their old deathcore stuff to Sempiternal was a massive shift. But that's when I got on board, so I don't really count that. But they're a band who are constantly reinventing themselves, and I have regularly enjoyed them along the journey.
Hot take: I can't listen to Suicide Season and Before anymore from that album and earlier.
Suicide Season's got some bangers.
Yeah, but I listen to it and I just feel
Chelsea
like
Smile?
like if the big ones come on, I'm like, this is like 20-year-old me at an alternative nightclub pretending I'm singing for them. But like, it doesn't hold up for me anymore.
Yep. I think it's normal to outgrow certain stuff too. You don't have that same angsty kind of passion that you did.
Drew, who's been a sidestepper for you?
When you say sidestepper, can you elaborate on exactly? Is this like a band that you, no matter what they have done, you've loved it?
No, yeah, but a band that has like abandoned what they were known for or what sort of got them fame.
You see, the thing about me is, compared to you guys, is that
you're 12.
I'm 12 years old. I'm literally still in school. I haven't been around for long enough. For a lot of my favorite bands, I wasn't around when they were like when they first started. So the only band that I've kind of followed for a good bit of their career, I suppose, is Sleep Token. So that's kind of the band, like they've made so many changes. I mean, from Sundowning is when I got into them, so I missed the first two EPs.
It's not
but
been
that's
drastic.
Like the only. Yeah, but I mean, like when you look at it compared to where they're at now from the EPs, I mean, from Sundowning to where they're at today, where they're like essentially a fucking pop band with the odd gent guitar in it. That's a massive change.
Yeah, I think between Eden and Arcadia is their biggest shift.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, look, the point is that I don't really have any of those bands that I like. For Tesseract is probably my all-time favorite band. And I wasn't around for, Concealing Fate and these kind of things. So I go back to those albums and I'm not the biggest fan of them, but the following albums I absolutely adore. So
I was
It's
actually
tough
going to
for me
ask.
to really
I was
answer.
actually going to ask what your favorite all-time bands are.
Yeah, I think Tesseract's Sleep Token. I think Tesseract and Sleep Token would do pretty well for me if I was to be trapped on an island somewhere. You know, I think I'd be pretty happy with their discographies.
I was going to say, like, if you got into the scene early on, I think the band that you would probably pick is Northlane. I think you would probably dig their early stuff if you were like part of the scene, and then like when they went electronic, you probably, since you love it now, I feel like that'd be the band.
I don't know. I didn't love. I thought their latest EP was good. Actually, you know, there's some great moments in it. The one with Winston, and also what's his name from Carnival,
Ian,
is fucking, and then
Ian,
Dante as well. Yeah, well, I think it was just because of the way they packaged that EP. The singles were also fucking fun and sick, and then when they dropped the EP, I was like super excited for it, and it was like 2 additional songs, and I feel like the additional songs just weren't as amazing to me as the singles that they dropped. But yeah, Northlane's not a bad show, but I don't like Northlane's older stuff as much, so I can't put them down as like an all-time band for me. But yeah, maybe you're right. Who knows what bands. Tool is a band that I really enjoy the discography of.
Yeah.
Not so much the really early stuff, but like Lateralis, 10,000 Days, their latest album, Fear Inoculum, as well. I love that album.
But they haven't done like much of a 180 though, or side.
Yeah,
very good.
I suppose. Yeah, see, I don't really have any bands that I've been following for so long that have made these massive shifts. I love Bring Me as well, so I guess that's kind of copying Steve's answer. Yeah.
I asked this question before, right? And yeah, it was kind of the same thing. They were stuck. Because like it's tough. I think like Thrice is the only one that comes to mind for me, man.
Yeah.
I definitely have bands that I've loved who have pivoted their sound and I've been like, it's not for me. I'm like My Chemical Romance, I fucking adored for their first 2. Well, the second album was when I got on board, and then Black Parade I thought was genius, and the album after that I was like, out. Didn't really like it.
Yeah, it was that was the one where they went kind of dancey.
Yeah, it's kind of pop electronic. I might like it now if I revisit it, but it was just not what I needed at the time. But like one of my all-time favorite bands is Green Day. They're kind of the reason. They're one of my absolute gateways into the rock universe, and I loved all of their albums. And then they've kind of fallen away. Like Post American Idiot, it kind of got a little weird, and I don't think the songwriting is very good. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's hard.
They have moments still, but yeah.
Hey,
but they haven't changed their sound much. I think they're just less good songwriters. It's weird.
You guys probably don't check out as much sort of like variation as we do, but I'm interested to know your thoughts on Don Broco, and if you guys caught him at Download, if you've checked out the new song, because they're a weird one, metal adjacent, quirky. They got the huge sort of, modern gent production. Where do you guys sit on them? Because Nathan took a long time to come around to Don Broco. We had a chat with Rob, and we talked to those guys quite a bit. And one of the things that they used to follow along with was Nathan not enjoying every song I showed him on the channel. And Rob's dad actually watches the channel, and he texted Rob when they released One True Prince, and Nathan was into it, and goes, "Nathan's in. He likes it."
That's hilarious.
Where do you guys sit on that band?
I'm probably just behind Nathan. So I have known of Don Broco and listened to them on and off here and there when they've peeked through, because they've been quite mainstream quite early in the UK at least. So I've seen them live. They were supporting Bring Me the Horizon. I've heard some of the songs. I'm like, there's something here. It's kind of nice. It's a sort of like Bastille meets Imagine Dragons sort of thing, which I'm not into. But I didn't understand their vibe, their image. They're like the big fur coats. I just thought they're a bunch of posh twats, and I was not into it. And then I heard some songs that people requested me to check out, and they're fucking mental, weird, like funny, comic, and odd. I'm like, what is this band? And I heard their most recent single, and I fucking love it. It's one of the best songs I've heard this year. It's so fucking good. So now I'm like, oh shit, I need to explore them properly.
Yeah. They kick ass.
Song sick.
Yeah. We like them.
Yeah. I've heard 2 songs. The Manchester Super Reds #1 fan. Is that the name of that song?
Mental.
Yeah, I heard that like 2 years ago or a year ago. I don't know. And then the new one was my only other experience, and it was great. I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, it was right up my street.
Yeah.
Their drummer's voice, fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Great
checked
shit.
out like the Technology album, and it's good too. The song "Pretty" is sweet, and then "Uber" was actually one of my most played songs in the year that it came out. So I already like the band. When you asked the question, like something that's like a little bit different, I thought you were going to go like way like more pop, but like Don Broco kicks ass. Like I thought you were going to say something like "Baby No Money" or something.
Well, I think it's just because
also kicks ass.
Yeah, because they lean so much into that pop world at times. Like I think, and because it's so almost like tongue in cheek for a lot of it, and you don't know. It's one of those things where a lot of heavy music fans are like, "This is silly. I can't like this."
Yeah, that's like Electric Callboy kind of thing, right? But like, yeah, the song "Bruce Willis" is goofy as hell, but I like it.
Bruce Willis,
they're an awesome band, man.
Bruce Willis's daughter actually found that song and enjoyed it and stuff, and showed it to Bruce Willis.
No way.
Yeah, crazy. Sad what's happening to that dude. I don't know.
I know. I didn't want to bring it up.
I was trying to like pivot around it.
Like, do we bring it up?
It's like he won't remember that she showed it to him. But,
I know.
Shed a tear for the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Armageddon, please. One of the best movies of all time. I love Armageddon. Yeah. Well, okay. So all of us need to check out more Callous Daoboys. That's clear. And Don Broco, there is a deep dive coming in my life, surely, for them.
And watch more Bruce Willis movies.
And get matching president tattoos.
And
yeah.
More president hate.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny, it has been an absolute delight to have you with us for the time that you were able to spend with us.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. And you hot-footing it across Australia to get some Wi-Fi there. Thank you for joining us.
Sorry about my terrible internet, but luckily the studio is only 5 minutes away, so we made it happen.
Nice. Love it. Appreciate you, man. Well, thanks, folks. And thank you for enjoying this. Make sure you subscribe to The Breakdown, but also this podcast if you've been enjoying this as well. And we'll see you hopefully soon for another episode in a week or so is the plan. So cheers, folks.